I'm Dr. Becky, and this is Good Inside.
Can we role play something? Like, can you give me a teenage rant? Because I think,
Yes.
I think one of the things that happens when you're a parent is you hear your kids say something and you have this instinct like, I'm going to help them look on the bright side. I'm going to tell them an example where that actually isn't true. And it's such well-intentioned, right? Like your gut is well-intentioned, but like it literally always inflames. But I feel like role playing it could be helpful. So teens rants, like what?
Oh, I'll give you one from the book. Oh, I love this so much because I truly love teenagers. Like, and I love how they describe the world, right? And describe their own world. So, oh my God. You will not believe what happened today. So here I am in AP US history, and we were given a group project, and I've got an A in that class. I've worked so hard for this A in this class, and the group project, the grade will actually affect our, overall grade. And this kid, Troy, who I have known since the 7th grade, he is one of the 3 people in our group, and he does nothing. He does nothing. He is going to be bossy and annoying and useless to us, and this kid is going to destroy my grade.
Sweetie, look, it just seems like you're focusing on like the worst parts of your group. And I'm sure the other kids in the group will like really help you out. Okay,
you don't get it. You don't get it, right? I'm still the teenager.
Grade, Lisa? What's my grade on that?
Oh yeah, D-, right? I mean, but like also D- for what you said, but like A+ for intention.
Totally.
Right?
But I'm going to challenge.
Okay, go for it. Okay. You're going to challenge your grades.
We're all doing the best we can with the resources in that moment. And I know every single parent wants to do right by their kid. 100% of parents. And we've been fed over and over this idea, I think a lot of us were parented this way, that when people are upset in distress, that our job is to like pull them out of that hole. Right? Or I always think about it as like they're sitting on some bench of like distress. I'm on the bench of I got the worst kid in my group, right? I got Troy. They're on the Troy in my group bench. And my job is to pull them off that bench and be like, look at this sunny bench. It's the at least I have Anna, right? Where our job is to sit on the bench with them. Because actually in your own life, the part of distress that's the worst is being alone in it. That's actually the only really impossible thing. And so in your example of like this, it sounds like nothing. You're like, did I even do anything? But I always feel like if I ask myself with my own kids, Becky, what's the equivalent of just sitting on the bench? Like, and then I know I'll be like, oh, that stinks. Oh, you really wish Troy wasn't in your group. Oh, the one kid you didn't want. You almost like, I feel like when you're starting this, I tell parents, just literally don't have the conversation without a pen. Write down what they say. And then read it back to them. I don't know. Like, is that closer to an A? Like, what do you think a teen wants to hear?
So this is what I love about teens. Like, they're very strongly opinionated. So you cannot take notes and read them back to them. That you will lose them right there. But you can do that with a younger kid, right? So don't do that. But you can. But I think, honestly, you said it, which is, and I was taught this by a 9th grader in New Jersey. What they mostly want to hear from you is like, oh man, that stinks, right? That just stinks. And I will tell you 90% of my parental utterances at the end of the day are like, tell me more. And oh man, that stinks. Like, and that is all teenagers want. They're like, thank you. Because here's the way we want to think about it from their standpoint. They got the group assignment in class and they did not scream, throw themselves on the floor, look at Troy and scowl. In fact, they almost certainly walked over to Troy and were like, okay, what's your cell phone number? Let's see if we can find a time to work together this weekend. They were awesome. They were fantastic. They were crushed it. They did everything we would ever want. And the thing that allowed them to do it was the knowledge that they were going to come home and be like, you are not even going to believe what went down in AP US history today. So when they're bringing it, they're not bringing it like, I'm bringing it because I have this problem I want your help with. Sometimes they are, and we can get to when that's happening. They are usually bringing it in the form of, I have held myself together all day and been the solid, gracious citizen you want me to be at school all day. And I just am bursting to tell you this, and I need to discharge it as much as anything else. And a solid, oh man, that stinks, is usually like, boom, the end of the sentence, job done.
Why is it so hard to find reliable answers to parenting questions? How is it in 2022 parents still search on Google for answers from strangers? Well, now there's a better way. Introducing the Good Inside membership, an expert-guided, community-powered platform redefining modern parenting. In our library, you'll find hundreds of bite-sized videos, articles, scripts, and workshops tackling the trickiest parenting topics. And it doesn't stop here. We've created a private community guided by me, Dr. Becky, and coaches trained in the Good Inside parenting method. Here you can ask questions, connect with other parents, or attend a live event on a topic that matters to you. This is the parenting handbook that doesn't exist. This is parenting advice at your fingertips, where you need it, when you need it the most. This is Good Inside membership.